We are.
Is anyone on yet? Hi, Facebook. So my name is Jess, and this is Christina, and we're broadcasting from sunny Costa Rica, Rythmia Life Advancement Center. Anybody coming in? How do you?
One person was there.
Oh, yay! We've got a person. Yay! So, welcome. This is Christina. My name is Jess. I'm filling in for Lindsay this week. I teach yoga here at Rythmia. And let's just hop into it. Christina.
Hi.
What brought you to Rythmia?
I was feeling just so bogged down with life. Like I had a really busy full-time job, and then I was doing a second, my own coaching business on the side. So days and nights were packed, and I was just feeling this real heaviness and exhaustion. And I was like, I need a retreat. I need a retreat. So I just one day started Googling all of the places that I'd been to for a retreat before, and nothing was just resonating with me. I was just I don't know about this. And then I was just I don't know, let's look retreat in Costa Rica and see what pops up. And then I saw Rythmia come up. And I was just okay. And then I looked and I was oh wait, this place is a place that does plant medicine.
Right.
And I was oh, I want to go here.
Okay.
I've heard about ayahuasca probably a few years ago, but I was just I don't know. And I'm maybe one day. And I was this is going to be something totally different, a totally new experience. I've gone to many meditation retreats, yoga retreats, and they're wonderful. But this was nothing I'd ever done before. So I was let's do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For those of you who have never done plant medicine, what would you say your greatest excitement was and your greatest apprehension?
I was excited that it was just something that I'd never experienced before. So it was just a totally new experience, and that I couldn't really not I could, go to my local ayahuasca shop and
Right.
experience it. It was something going to be really kind of special and unique. And then I, heard stories and experiences from people. I've been people it changed my life, and I'm just kind of okay, something's really powerful here with this. So I'm ready. Let's try this. And my greatest apprehension was just I have no idea what to expect. And it was this idea of I'm going to not have control. I have to go along for the ride while the medicine is taking its effect, and I can't just be get up from my chair and be well, I'm done with this, and walk out. So that was my greatest fear about it.
So the commitment.
Yeah. Just knowing that I wouldn't have control, and I'd really have to I'd be this is a ride that it's being on a roller coaster. You can't just get to the top of the hill and then be I'm out of here. You have to go through the whole thing until it's the end. So yeah.
So from that first moment that you found Rythmia online, how far ahead did you book your stay?
It was a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the time leading up to that, were you mostly just excited? Were you Googling Costa Rica and plant medicine? Did you watch documentaries?
I was reading all the reviews on TripAdvisor.
Okay.
And as many as I could. I was looking up article after article that I could find of people who'd either who'd been to Rythmia, or just in general people's experiences of ayahuasca. I was getting really excited. Started watching some ayahuasca documentaries and just trying to absorb. But whenever I would feel fearful, I'd kind of go back to the TripAdvisor site and reread the reviews.
Okay.
And then there'd be some new ones. So I'd be okay, yeah. People really like this.
Well, it's amazing that you get to be that voice now for people that have never heard of Rythmia or haven't been here. Maybe they're thinking about coming. And it's a great turnaround.
Yeah, totally.
So when you first arrived here and you step off the shuttle by the helipad and you see where you have arrived, how was that experience for you?
I even want to talk about arriving at the airport first.
Okay.
Because that actually was a great experience. Even the ride in the shuttle, like just going there, like seeing the sign for Rythmia, meeting like a group of people I was going to be riding with, but then there's this video that plays and Jerry speaks about, your time. And even that ride just relaxed me. And I was like, I'm safe. Like I just really felt safe even in the shuttle. And so that set the stage. And then when I arrived, just like beautiful people and like lovely ladies in these beautiful dresses and everything laid out, like our lovely welcome package. And it was just so like taken care of, like step by step by step, just feeling really supported and excited and, talking to other people like, hey, is this your first time here? Like, you nervous too?
Yeah, you're all in it together.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we've got some people here. Hi from San Diego, Sayla, Mindy, Sean, hello. Hi, Zin. There's Bev from Greater Manchester, UK.
And if any of my friends are on here, write a comment right now so I know you're here.
Yeah, you hear that? No pressure. So you get there the first day, settle in, acclimate, get to know your group for the week.
Mm-hmm.
The first ceremony that we have is breath of life.
Yeah.
So how was that for you?
That was really good. It was really powerful. And that actually kind of set the tone. Like, I came in this week just felt like just carrying so much weight on me, like just heavy. And the breath work was the first kind of clearing that took place. So I had like a real emotional release during the breath work. And I felt like it was like, okay, we're going to get started. And like, let's take off these first layers. And it was just a really like, and then as I was going through this emotional release, one of the support staff, Fiona, because I remember she was there for one of my consultations, and she came and sat with me and supported me through this emotional release. And I just was like, oh my God, like I feel so safe and so supported. Like it's been so long that I'd actually really felt that way from somebody, just like a beautiful calming presence. And that was really lovely. Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
And then the next day, your first ceremony.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, first I want to say I went to the yoga class in the morning. I think, was that you the first day? Did you do Monday or was that Sarah?
I did Tuesday.
Okay, so that was Sarah. So that class was really good, and I felt like it just set the stage again for like opening up my body and like helping me relax more. And then the first ceremony, super nervous. Like just
that's normal.
Like just people. Like, oh my God, like what am I getting myself into? And then when I walked into the Maloka, the ceremony room, it was just like really like calming, and like how all the beds were laid out, and like it's just like super comfy blankets and pillows. And so I felt like, again, like this is safe, like safety was a theme that kept coming up. And it was really like the actual ceremony itself, like when the shaman and the people that I don't know what you call them, support staff or holistic team assistants doing like blessing, the medicine was really beautiful to watch. And then, just going up and like receiving the first cup of medicine, and then just like, all right, like, let's see what happens. And then it started like within, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 minutes, I felt the medicine take effect, and I had like it just started with me like laughing. Like I'm just like, oh my God, like just, and I could see that was just like a release of energy. And then the medicine just did fast work. Like it was like I came in again with all of this baggage, and it was like it was like I was getting cleared out in all different ways, and was receiving a lot of insight and communication, like having, conversation, like with Mother Ayahuasca and going through this. And it was challenging. Like I didn't anticipate the challenge. Like I'd seen people watching videos, like, being like really going through stuff. And then I kind of got it. So it was hard work, but then at the end, it was just kind of like, whoa, like that was pretty wild and really, really good. And I just knew that it's almost like it's so long ago now, the first one, that it's a bit of a blur, but yeah, I was like, okay. And then I just kind of felt like, really connected with everybody else who just went through this process, because it's like, who else are you going to talk about this experience with unless you know it and have been through it. But yeah, that set the stage for the week.
I know it's going back a little ways, but do you remember that first morning after, like the day after waking up? Like, how did you feel?
So, right, I remember I didn't sleep a lot.
Yeah.
I think I got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, thinking, gosh, like, how am I going to get up to go to yoga in the morning? But I just did, because I knew that I wanted to commit myself as much as possible to everything, like all of the activities during the week. And but it felt really good, like going to yoga, and I was just like, okay, like I'm here. Like I noticed I was more present in the yoga class than I normally would be. So it felt okay. Like I was like, okay, I'm surprisingly more awake than I thought that I would be, and it just kind of felt like I'm ready for the next day.
And you've gone through the 3 intentions, and you've received your miracle. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so with the intentions, I decided to just pick the first intention for the first night.
Okay.
So like, show me who I've become. And that became really clear to me, like who I became. And so when I saw that and how it played out in my life, and even like, I was like, wow, I'm like, this is like, I struggled a lot of times with like connecting to people. And then I was like, oh, this is why I struggle with connecting to people, and it has nothing to do with them. It just has to do with me and this like frame of mind and what I'm holding. So that to me was like, okay, I got it. Like, I know who I've become, and I see how this plays out. The second night, which was merge me back with my soul, was that intention. And that night, yeah, I mean, it happened. It started out like I took the first cup, and it was really pleasant. Like, it was really beautiful experience. I was actually asking for some guidance on like how to work with my mind. And it was like I was in a workshop, like I was being taught like how to understand my mind and understand my heart, and to notice the difference. Like, this is when your mind's trying to take over. Here's when you're connected to your heart and you're present. But then I was really noticing this, like, it's just like this, it felt like this big kind of layer of like thick kind of just over my chest. And I was sitting there, and I knew that this needed to go in order for me to go on to the next step. And I said, like, and this communication was just, again, with like, whether it's Mother Ayahuasca, my intuition, whatever it is, it really felt like, though, Mother Ayahuasca, like this guide. I said, I'm really struggling with letting this go. And I realized I'd been carrying it for my entire life, like since I was a baby, like this has been here. And so it's all that I'd known. And so I was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I started crying, because I'm like, I was like mourning the loss of something that, even though it wasn't serving me, it was still so much a part of me that I didn't want to let it go. So they have the fire outside the Maloka. So I went and sat with the fire and just asked if it could help me to release this. And I felt like there was kind of this burning off of this. And so then when I went back in, and I think this was after second cup, I knew that it was time to purge it, like to let it go. But it was still really difficult. Like, I was hanging on, and then I was struggling. Like, I was really struggling. It was so hard for like an hour. At least it felt that way. And then finally one of the assistants came over, did a bit of, calming down with me. And then she brought over another assistant, and he did an energy balancing and a blessing. And within 20 seconds of that, I ended up like purging. And then that like just released, like this opened up, which then opened me up for the third night, which is heal my heart.
Yeah.
So I needed to release the covering over my heart in order for it to be healed. And so that night I had a lot of work done. It was interesting. From my experience, it was like I was being moved by this presence, this force. Like, my body was just moving on its own, and I was doing a lot of self-healing on my body. And then I ended up having like where they call it like surgery, you know, and like I noticed my entire body was being worked on. And I find out later it's really what was happening. I was being completely cleared out. And then I ended up noticing for the rest of the night that I was channeling energy. And so I had really no idea what I was doing. Like, I was like, well, this is new. So that was happening. And so that was cool. But then I was like, but is my heart healed? Because I had this expectation or idea that if my heart was healed, it would be like angels would sing, and I'd be like, oh, and like, you know, it was radiating.
The heavens would
the heavens would open, and I would just be like emanating love and loving everybody. But that didn't happen. And I asked her, I go, so is my heart healed? And she said, yes. She goes, but love isn't just one thing. She says, yes, like it can be this big love, but love is also softer. And it's gentle, and your job now is to find the love that's in everything. And so when you experience that, it's like my heart is open to do that now. And so that was like 1, 2, 3 intention done. And then I was like, it felt like I was like every ceremony was like, okay, 25%, 50%, 75%. And then ceremony 4, the intentions that were given to us there was like 3 intentions, and like forgiveness, and, you know, giving information about like who I am and who I want to be. And that was, that came to me really quickly, actually, within that first cup. And then I remember getting a lot of information about that. And then it was kind of like I had all of like these guides around me, and they were just like, you did it, like, you know, like cheering me on. And then like, this is your celebration, like this is your party. And so then the rest of the night, because this is the one that was all night, it was just like I just danced like the whole night, and like I didn't even know how. Like everybody after was like, oh my god, like you were dancing for like hours, it was amazing.
I heard you were a beautiful dancer on Thursday night. That was definitely a celebration.
Yeah, it was such a celebration. So that was lovely. And then really it all clicked together for me today in our final closing group. Like even what another piece of what I came here for. Like the dots just started to connect, and I was just like, oh my god, like everything that happened during the weekend of the ceremonies is like bringing me also to here right now. And it felt complete. Like I'm like everything that I hoped I could get from here, I got. Yeah.
Would you have any final little bit of advice for anybody that's thinking about coming and maybe they have some concerns or fears or?
Yeah. The first thing that I would say, because I didn't really know anything about ayahuasca before I came, aside from like little things that I read. And, you know, you hear a lot of people say like, oh, it's a drug, you know, like, wow. And I'd be like, oh, I don't know. I think it's more than that. And after experiencing it, I can say like, it's not a drug, it's a medicine. Like it truly, truly is a medicine, and it's no joke. It's no joke. It is the most powerful healing tool that I've experienced. And the way that Rythmia sets up the week creates this amazing container and space that it's not just the ceremonies, it's the integration classes, it's, you know, it's everything. It's getting massage, it's the cleanses, like everything supports it and facilitates the process. So I would say that, yeah, like it's okay to be scared, because it can be scary. It can be at times, especially like if it's something that you're not familiar with. I found that each night, although every night was different, I felt more comfortable going into it. And all I can say is, if like in any way you feel like you have an interest or a calling to do this, or you're in pain and you've like tried everything, it's a fast track. It is a fast track to healing your pain. It's like, it's no joke. It is serious. And just not be afraid, because the support of the staff, like yourself and the whole team, everybody who's there for the ceremonies, is absolutely incredible. Like there's just walking angels here. And this place is truly magical. it's magical. It's like, if you're like, but it won't happen for me, like, I would say just trust, like, open your mind, because I've just seen miracles happen here this week.
Well, thank you for coming and being
You're
so
welcome.
brave to go through the whole experience and do all of this work and then share with everybody. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody who's watching.
Thanks. Anybody have any questions for either of us? No?
Question time.
Q&A?
Type them in the comments.
All right. If not, we're going to go. We'll be back next week with How I Got My Miracle. Thank you, guys.